Boom! All right, folks. Here we go. WSTX AM 970, your community-minded station. Yeah. With Doug Canton, you know the sometimes silly guy, sometimes serious guy. You know how it is sometimes. Hey, can't be all things all the time to all people, so you gotta be something to yourself, right? All right. So good morning, and welcome to Reflections. Yes, the place where we look in the community mirror. And hey, if you like what you see, just soak it up. If you don't like what you see, jump in and do something about it. Make a difference. Be a part of the solution. All right? And if you're having trouble with that, I got this guy named Jared. You just call he. He'll help you out. Because if he can fake it out, you can make it too. Okay? All right. I tell you, the visionary guy of WSTX. Jared, I hope everything is all right with you out there. All right? Good thing. So tell me now, what's your week been like? I hope it's been great, fantastic, outstanding, just plain excellent. I know all my Thursday people are in here everything is just cool, and the Friday people them too because they just beginning to get it that it starts with Thursday. They into this Friday thing. Folks, man, we over the hump. Wednesday gone behind us, and this is Thursday, the weekend starts. All right, things looking good. So, be of good cheer. You know, it ain't Christmas yet, but be of good cheer nonetheless. All right, and then even if it's Christmas, I have to bring Stanley and them in because Dougie might get something else for Christmas rather than good cheer, right? Okay, so I gotta behave myself. Good thing. All right, Mr. Tony Romano, the good thing man. Yes, it's so infectious. Yeah, folks, the time is always right for a good thing. I don't care if it's midnight, 3 o'clock in the morning, 12 noon. It don't matter. The time is always right to do right and for a good thing. Hey. Okay, right. So, what's happening in the world out here today? Well, got a couple of things going on with me. I can't tell you all of them, but we could talk about some of them. All right. It's times like this I think of my good friend now deceased and definitely calling in the talk show in heaven somewhere, Wayne Faxman Adams. Okay, and a while there he had this thing. He and Mean Dean had this thing going on here at the station. And back in the day of soap operas type style of TV, whatever, everybody wasn't on TV that time. When as soon as they hear Faxman Adams calling, that's it. They just wanted all the scoop. I can't even tell you what all they used to talk about. I'll leave that one there alone until my time come to maybe fill the void because we miss him. We miss him, especially the all of the information about various Virgin Islanders and historical events. Yeah, we miss him, folks. I tell you, do a random act of kindness. Don't do like Jared and be random. Just do the random act of kindness with the emphasis on kindness. And if you're feeling kind of bored, please do some premeditated acts of kindness. Nobody coming looking for you to lock you up about that, okay? So just feel free and go ahead and do it, right? And I say that now. You gotta do it sometimes for people you don't like. Maybe people you even just can't stand. I ain't talking about people who in their right mind cussing off or anything like that. No, I wouldn't put you through that kind of stress. Those kind of people become non-people, okay? Just leave them alone and move on. All right. So, and I say that, you know, when you hear me laugh, and for those who follow me on YouTube or on WSTX Facebook, when you hear me laugh and you see that look on my face and you see that smile, you know that I'm having a good time. My body is having a good time because the muscles are all in the relaxed and positive state. When you see somebody walking around with that frown on their face and everything else, well, a couple of things going on there. One, maybe they train their body into not smiling and looking like that, which is unfortunate because a smile is a beautiful thing. It's sad when folks train themselves just like a bad sitting posture, and they train themselves to have that bad posture for the rest of their life. Okay, so you have those that's like that. But you have those who walk around with that look on their face for one or two reasons. Okay? When they see you or somebody that they don't like. Okay? They see you, don't like you, they see somebody else they don't like, and their face gone into that mood. Well, folks, I don't know about you, but I want to work smart. I want to work smart. I don't want to work hard. I want to work smart. No, if in the process of being smart you're doing some hard work, that's okay. But I want to work smart because it is less energy, a whole lot less energy to smile. Mm, yes. All right, think about it. How easy it'll come to you when you see something you like and you smile. You put that fork at that nice, pleasant dish that you've just been waiting for, salivating for, and you just smile. It's so good. Well, you know, you're doing a nice thing for your body because it's like you're letting it relax and let it do its natural thing in that smile. For those who walk around otherwise, because they don't like who they see or whatever, they don't get it that they're actually working, causing their body muscles and life force to be working for the person and thing that they don't like. Think about it. So let it go and confuse them with a random act of kindness. What do you say? Hmm? Okay. Hey. And now this morning I want to give a shout out to the caregivers. Yes, the caregivers out there. For one reason or another, something has happened in your life or in the life of someone who is dear to you, or for someone who you've adopted in that way, because they need the help, appreciate the help, and otherwise benefit from the help in a way that you're giving something back to the community. All right? Good thing. Yeah. And so, uh, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. It's a hard undertaking. It can be very hard on families, especially when families are separated across islands and continents and the need arises. Sometimes it's a non-family slash what end up being adopted family that steps in. And blessings to you when you do that. Very often it's not something that is you're going to be thanked or rewarded for, other than to the extent that you, in your own mind and being and self, see it as your form of giving to your community and sharing love through your community. Yeah. Caregiving is a thing you can be in that situation for a variety of reasons. It could be a thing of disability, or it could be a health-related issue. During life and the care life, all types of situations. You whatever you can imagine, it could be a situation where someone could be doing caregiver work. Right? For those people who undertake it as a profession and who put themselves out to the community and coordinate people to do these tasks for others, hey, more power to you. We need you and we appreciate you and what you do. We appreciate your professionalism, your empathy, your caring, all of those things. Just want to say we appreciate you. Yes, we do expect a high degree of fiduciary care toward the person that you're caring for, but that's a given. That's a given. We are quick to call out things that shouldn't be. So the fact of the matter is you're hearing more thanks and praises out there than anything else, so you know there's something good going on in our community. Not enough sometimes to go around, but something good going on in our community. Now, it comes down to the basic tenet, call it a tenet today. Share the love, folks. Share the love. I got plenty to go around. Plenty, plenty. Just look in your heart, daddy. Okay, remember the song We There? Well, the love daddy, right there. Just look for it and it's there. Okay? Even for the person who you just can't stand. Okay? The key thing is remember now, that person that when you see them, you like want to go the other way this time, yeah? You realize that you got an apartment in your head rent free for them, right? And when they're gone, you're going to miss them. Okay. Well, for those who are the worrying type, as we delve into this day, please dish the worry. As folks will say, put whatever there in your mind away at the foot of the cross. Please. Because stress does kill, stress does use up the time that you should be living your life in an enjoyable or otherwise productive way. Stress is like that. And I have a question for any and everybody out there, okay? As far back as you could think, I'm sure there are plenty of times I will fall into this situation. First thing I want to know is, if you had a problem, what problem you had that didn't work out? You think about that. Think about that real hard. Don't think about it in terms of proving me wrong. That's not the point. Because problems don't necessarily get fixed right away. Some of them is long term. But for the most part, it always works out. The challenge is it don't work out when we want it. It don't necessarily work out how we want it. Okay? That's the reality, but it works out. Okay, we got a caller here. Let me see, line 2. Let me see who we got here. Good morning, WSTX.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
Good. Let me ask you, you hearing a whole lot of static?
No, but if you're hearing it, I'll have my engineer check on it and make sure everything is clean and clear.
Yeah, I'm hearing it. A while ago when Josh answered me, I could have barely hear him.
Okay.
But now it's sounding like an over-modulation to me. I'm not sure.
No, man, you coming through loud and clear in here.
Yeah, well, you're coming through loud and clear to me, too. So, you got Gerald with you this morning?
No, they're home alone today. He probably out there.
Home alone.
He probably out there.
Home alone. You're do all kind of
all kind of thing. Daddy and mommy ain't here. No children around.
Yeah.
The only thing is that you're home alone.
You're home alone. Anyway, since you're home alone, let me say something with regard the Board of Election, not election. That it was able somehow to get Mr. Raymond Williams, the Grovian, to back off and allow the 5 members who called a special meeting to go ahead with that meeting. That's the bylaw says that they could do that. But this Raymond fellow believes because he's on so many boards, commissions, and God knows what all else, in contravention to law, that he must have the last say in every Jesus Christ thing. Nothing to help us on. Anyway, I would like to take this opportunity to commend it's coming from myself as a former board member who knows what it is to be in a very wide minority. When I was on the board back in the 80s, 14, 15 member board, it might have even been 16 back then. Only 3 of us were ICMers. So I know what it is. However, it was nothing like what is happening today. And I always reach out to my fellow board members from St. Croix who all have passed. Donald Ross, Malcolm Plaskett, and Lloydie McAlpin, all very strong Democrats. They weren't dominant. But I myself, as a ICMer, we get along very well because we realize and recognize it was larger than us, and we are doing the people's business. You hear me, sir?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Good. Okay, no, because I have the distractions. I'm just trying to be sure. Anyway,
right.
Let me try to speed it up by saying this. The new member on the board, Dr. Cleopatra Tita, ought to be commended for the stance that she has taken. As she has said over and over, it's not about her. It's about 1,000+ electorate voters who voted for her, and of course, even those that did not vote for her. So, I mean, I always tell her, I say, you know, you have the verve, the tenacity, the courage, and the stick-to-itness to continue to write letters and quote the law. You continue to quote the law. And that's what people like Raymond seem to be running from, the very law that he probably helped to create on the Board of Election. Why you running from it? It's a law. It says if the chairman doesn't call a special meeting, the vice chair can, and if the vice chair don't, 5 members can. So that's what happened, Raymond. You head too much in the lottery machine. Well, stay there and get out the consultant board. Anyway, again, you know, Dougie, it is people all over the world laugh at us for such a small territory. We are into so much mockery. When they extremism, the crookedness by leaders from the government, I say, Albert Lacroix, I say. Nobody don't tell me who say or don't say.
All right.
When you look at situations like WAPA, look at the state it's in. And all he could do, and I'm saying it's not the board. This same Mr. Brian, a Sabanero like myself, who play in a crucial, now got WAPA in the state where he sees it fit to pay one car night and day $500,000 plus box.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, right? I get a little laugh there because I watching you and say, you know, Doug, you better walk right, you know, because this man gonna be like Trump and come out with face mask on and everything and handcuff you and spirit you away. You don't convict the man and take you off already. So I gotta watch you.
You hear me then? I mean, I was surprised when I saw in the papers yesterday or the day before what he was implicated. He needs to be arrested, for God's sake.
Well, to each their own, you know, and how they see things and whatever else. I sometimes like to be like Jared and just be blind. So
yes.
and not that you don't gain knowledge, but you gain it sometimes without bias.
well, let me say this and go, because as I always say, I have 6 grown children. 14 grands and 8 great grands, and it'll beg Papa Why would they call me Papa, Daddy, Pop? Lord, leave the people and with their stupidness, Lord. Stay up in Texas where you're supposed to believe them. But I cannot and I will not. I'm going to vote full vote for them.
Okay. No. Be nice. Be
Not
nice.
literally.
That may have lasting effects, so you don't want to see nobody have to go through. Okay.
Okay, good. So with that, I'll start to listen because I haven't been listening. And then I will see what you're saying and so forth, so on, so forth.
All right. Good thing.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Good thing. You have a great
All right,
morning.
sir.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Yes, folks. All right. It's what's on your mind. What's on your mind? You know, sometimes we come in here and as hosts we talk. But it's really not about me. It's what's on your mind. And I said that. Now we have this special session that was called, and of course there are things in it that some people find controversial, and there are things in it that some people find agreement in. And I don't know where this particular one falls, but I want to broach the idea here, and I'm going to talk about some personal experiences, having been someone who worked for government, in fact, worked for the legislature as an employee, and decided to seek higher office. Well, what I'm going to say is that for donkey years, whether it's a young donkey or an older donkey, but for donkey years, our legislature has done its best to put obstacles in the way of persons who want to seek higher office who work for the government. So something like making you have to use unpaid leave to run for office. Now think about it. You have a family, have to put food on the table, got bills to pay and so forth and so on, but you also have the possibility that you can make a contribution to your community that's going to benefit the whole community. And you're being put in a situation where you're saying to be able to do that, you have to suffer this. You have to go through this gauntlet. So look at this really hard before you pull that trigger and say, but you're going to run for the seat that belongs to me. That's what the senator is saying. The seat that belongs to me. So historically, they have been in the business of putting obstacles in front of people who want to run. Now, my personal experience before being elected. Now, I did take leave. I will have to say that sometimes you have people in there who understand what fairness is and will step in. And this is all under the water under the bridge. So I'm not talking about it, my experience, with any feelings one way or the other, because this is all gone. But it got so bad that while running for office, I wanted to go to the archives, the legislature archives, to look up some legislation, to do some research as I was working on something regarding my platform, so forth and so on. But this is public information. The archives division is someplace where the public's supposed to be able to go and get a copy of this bill, that bill, whatever the case may be. I want to big up Ms. Camacho, who used to work in there for so many years. She's retired now. Did a fantastic job. Okay? And here I was, the Senate Vice President at the time sent security to throw me off the premises of the legislature. Okay? Now, this is a time when the president is from one island, the vice president is from the other island. So which island you think the vice president was from? Okay? It's St. Croix. Okay? Because the persons in St. Thomas who are in the Senate, they don't even feel any way threatened by somebody in St. Croix running for the Senate. However, as I quickly found out, all of them is one. So it ain't Crucian senators doing it to Crucian people. It is senators doing it to the people. Because I had what I thought was a good relationship with one of the senators from St. Thomas, who I personally at the time held them in high esteem. And I informed him of what was going on. And the person said, well, it's right, it's good for you. You should have resigned. And that's it. No, you hear that? No, I should have resigned. So now I have no job. I have no source of income. And I got my bills and everything. I should resign. Because in that time, that was the standard they want to hold you to force you to resign. I just saying these things to you because I want you to understand that the tactics they use may have changed, but the intent was always the same, to make sure that that Senate seat belonged to them and to create a situation where nobody could challenge them. Now, as I started off and said, this been going on for donkey years. You think that people in the legislature don't know what's going on? And if they walk around oblivious to the fact that it's going on, hey, that's kind of guy good? I don't know. But if they don't know that it's going on, they need to wake up and smell the coffee and what they're around them. Because with this special session, the legislature is being called on that item to fix it now. Get rid of it. It is inherently unfair to try and put tactics through the law to stop people from running for office. All right? Now, I was privy to a discussion where a sizable group of constituents were being encouraged to not be supportive of this thing being done in the special session, that it should just wait and let it go back to the legislature and let them deal with it. Again, donkey years this going on. They know what they're doing to you. And you're going to lay back and say, well, okay, I'm willing to pass the special session. Let's give it to the legislature and they will come up with a good solution and take care of it. You know, they got, in Crucian lingo, they got a thing called a konomono. So I want to know if they think we as konomono to say that if we want to fix it, we're willing to delay fixing it. Remember back in the day, they're saying, oh, children could be free, but mommy and daddy still have to be slaves. People them saying nothing tell go so. So I want to know what happened to us. What happened to us? That we encourage a delay in making a change that's about justice. Why are you going to delay justice? What they say about justice delayed? Hey, folks, I'm throwing that one out there because it's high time them kind of thing get wiped off the books. One time, we got a special session, do it now. Do it now. Why you going to give them a chance to come up with some other way, roundabout way to backdoor or whatever the case is? Do it now. Not 6 months from now. Not set up in a way that it don't take effect until after the next election or whatever the case may be. Hey, I don't put anything past them. And you shouldn't either. Because this been going on for donkey years. Everybody who running for office should be on equal footing, period. You get out there, you do your fundraising, you do your platform, you go and you do your canvassing, all of this stuff. You're on an equal footing. But when you're going to tell someone, I'm coming to you here on the line, when you're going to tell someone that you must suck salt, okay, and I could take bread off of your family table to give you access to what is the rights of every human, hold on a second, the rights of every Virgin Island? No. And this is why I strongly disagreed with that suggestion that it should defer from being dealt with in a special session and be dealt with on the legislature's term and time. Okay? Whatever happens in the legislative session, if they want to come back afterward and make amendments and do other things, I'm going to make it more free, if that's possible. Hey, more power to you. But if your tire flat now, we need to fix now. Not when you get to your destination, your rim mash up. Anyhow, go ahead, Mr. Nibs.
You know, Johnny, you're so correct. And I heard you say something that really left me befuddled. When you mentioned that you, as an aspirant, they call God for you to put you from going in the...
You hear me?
I mean, what is this? What is this? But you know, who feels it knows it. I mean, it came so, I don't know if egregious should be the word, even though under an ICM administration in the legislature with a Senator Gordon Brown being president, an ICMer, Adelbert M. Bryan being majority leader, an ICMer, myself, Al Dibs, being an ICMer, I was selected as the executive director of the legislature. And you know, I had hells. Sometimes I got to think twice, is that if I don't have a staff, the staff belongs to the executive director's office. The business office and all of that is under the purview of the executive director. But this is the way it has some senators set in staff and tell them not to do this and watch that. And I mean, I'm so sorry for the chauffeur, because even though he was instructed not to pick me up at the airport, he used to come. And I used to send him back and catch a cab.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the things that we black people do to each other. And they want to tell me Darby ain't right when he say we hate one another too long. But why we do that? Who we hate then? I don't recall, and maybe you could tell me, I don't recall if there ever was a white man, woman, whoever, as executive director of the legislature, or even a president of the legislature. I know Cindy Lee, I think one time must have been a vice. But even Sidney Lee, a chemical engineer,
right,
was not, to me, no racist and type of person. The same with my partner, they were to smoke pipe like me. What name again? Redfield.
Well, it is a power thing. People want power, and they want more. You know, enough is never enough. They want power over you. All right, that's it. They want power over you. It ain't a black-white thing. It's a power thing. You look at what's going on in the States now. It's a power thing.
Exactly. And let me tell you, I'm sure you probably, I don't know if you would recall, I don't think you were in the legislature then, when a coup d'etat was tried against Senator Gordon Brown, one of the members of the Democratic Party put their son in the chair to hold the chair so that Senator Brown couldn't get in the chamber to conduct a meeting. But when I learned of it, I rushed to the chambers. And when the young boy see me coming with fire in my eye, he run, go and fling, he out of it. He any father.
Well,
who was a senator.
Since you're calling names, right? And I said this. and I'm speaking to the injustice that's going on and the people I interacted with that I know from their support. Okay, I'll call a couple of names because
Yes, you go right ahead.
Vaughn Brown was a kind of a gentleman. He had his ways that some people may not have liked, and in changing of times may not have even been appropriate. You know,
Okay.
because me these days when I see people I know, I don't shake their hand. Long ago,
Yeah.
people I know and give them a hug, I don't shake their hand now. Okay, you never know. And
Sometimes,
he was that kind
sometimes
of a person, and some people didn't like it. But that
that's true.
aside,
That's true.
his
Yes.
orientation in terms of leadership was on the professional side of things. The
Oh
next
yeah. Oh
the
yeah.
next name I gonna call and specifically and for anybody who wants to start talking about crucians, this, that, and I ain't got nothing to do. It has to do with my experience, the people that I interacted with, the people who expressed and took steps of support to do away with this oppressive thing of trying to make it hard for somebody to run for office. Okay,
You're right.
and Vernon Brown wasn't in office when I was attempting to run. Okay,
All
the
right.
other person I'll call is former Senator Armando Rocky Liburd.
Yep.
Okay, you know, fairness is fairness, and when he was in that position as president, if it wasn't fair or it wasn't legal, he wasn't going to be the person who going to be an enforcer for that. He would be the person to turn it over.
Exactly.
Right.
And
So,
I just say that. Let me just stick in Armando Rocky Libert being from St. John, then the at-large senator. I mean, whenever it comes to a matter that needs, let's say, a break in a tie, or he normally yields to St. Christ.
yeah, I would have to say that too, as a general
Yeah.
proposition. You know, as a
You
general
know, I
proposition.
mean, that's how fair he was, you know.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. And it should be about humanity, because when we start wanting to use tactics that are attributed to times like slavery and not reconstruction, Jim Crow. When you
Yeah.
want to resort to those type of tactics after we came from the Danish West Indies and slavery and everything else,
All right.
for us to now say that the slave master is gone and everything is on cruise control and we keeping it going? No, sir. Okay.
Well, we then become the ones that want to be slave masters.
Exactly. You want to become the very thing that you were fighting against. And,
Exactly.
and this is why I'm so passionate and speaking so strongly on this, because it clearly isn't about me.
Right.
We can't go back in time and change none of this. But
Right.
when I go to a school, a class, interact with these young people and talk with them about, you know, what's going on in this world and their opportunities to make this world a better place,
Mhm.
I want to be speaking with not only clarity, but not sugarcoating it, and
True.
making sure that the opportunity truly is there.
Right.
So if a person just get out of college, come back here, been working for 2 or 3 years doing something in government, and they realize that they can make a contribution, I don't want an oppressive environment that says we're going to force you to choose between being able to support yourself and running for
Yeah.
office.
You know, Dougie, as you talk, there's some things come up to me. Let me just mention quickly. As executive director, there came a time that Donald Duck Cole, the archivist at the time, before he became a senator, came to my office and told me some things that a legal counsel office and journal section needed, to wit Lexus, Nexus, and all this type of thing. I didn't know nothing about those things, but he showed me why these things are needed. And of course, I ordered them and I put in membership to get these things. You know, I had senators telling me don't do it. I can't These people crazy.
Lordy be.
But I went up ahead and do it. I know because I preferred it. And I know that there were funds to do it, so I did it.
Well, I prefer you than COVID, and I said that right to explain what that means, right?
Yeah.
That the ability to have St. Croix senators for committee meetings to be able to remotely interact with St. Thomas was something that was possible donkey years ago.
True.
Okay, but you had senators that saying don't do it, and it had to do with who they like and who they don't like. And not even an island versus another island, as
No.
opposed to they didn't like the messenger.
Right.
You know, and so these are the stupidities that we just got to get out of the way so that we can progress. Now let me throw out an idea to you here, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you in St. Thomas or St. Croix, if you gotta choose between going Frederickstead and Christianstead to pay a bill, if you gotta choose between East End and West End and St. Thomas to go and pay a bill, because the particular agency that you have to is located at this place that's so far away from where you at, right? Now we're getting to the point now where you can pay a lot of things online.
True.
Okay, but before we even get to that, and what should complement that, is that all our cashiers, okay, should be able to process a payment for this government regardless of what agency they're in.
Of course.
Now, how would that work? Every agency have a code, every division have a subcode, every particular type of transaction have a code, subcode, and a descriptive input that you can do, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't matter which cashier you go to. If you know the appropriate codes, you put out the bill, they put it into the system, pay the government.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because some years ago that was proposed, but the proposer, they didn't like the proposer. So you know they say, oh, the money gonna get mixed up. P&P money gonna go into housing. Oh, please, you stop it.
So how the banks to do it? You got banks with branches international all over the place. How do they know which penny came from which branch? If they could do it, we could do it.
Of course.
All right? And this is why the next joke that they play on the people of the Virgin Islands and every place else is that at any given point in time, you should be able to go to a portal and look at a screen and see money coming in and money coming out. And all it is every time an expenditure is approved, and ultimately the person cash the check, or write the check and send it out. Okay, right. The balances change every time revenues come in. The balances change. But this is a game that not just here, nationally, that they play. That they don't want you to really know how much money you have and when, and not because you got so much money to spend, but sometimes you could clearly see in advance you ain't got no money. Why are we spending?
Right.
Unless it's something unless it's something we have to have as a matter of be able to function and bring in money, you know, then why are we spending? So
let me give you a quick one and then I'm going.
All right.
The British Virgin Islands, Tortola specifically, and Seacoast Bay, that was owned by the Nips family originally. Both my parents from Seacoast Bay, and after I left the government of the Virgin Islands and America, the Congress, I decided to move to Tortola to run the family businesses, where I held the position of Secretary Treasurer in the corporation and General Manager for the operation. And I decide I gonna get involved in the politics. Let me tell you something. Vic Fraser, who I had served as his chief of staff with, we talked to some other Congress people, and they agree with us that the time had come for the British Virgin Islands, the community college, whatever they used to call it, should receive university status. Now, you think something as important as moving to university status, it would fly. But why it didn't fly? Two belongers of Totola, one an attorney named Victor Fraser, whose parents owned down there the hole at King Garden Bay, and one lives from Seacoast Bay. Likewise, well, what they would call, they're in Totola, they're Yankees. How dare them come back and tell we what to make our university? No, I believe it has university status now, but for years after that, it was floundering when they had the chance for it to become a university. I don't know. I truly don't. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't see things as for me. I see that for what is best for all.
You don't have to be stupid. All I have to do is be about ego and turf, and it ain't gonna happen till I say happen. And all of these other things that have nothing to do with nothing and should never enter into the discussion of how you move your people forward.
You're right. You're right to that. So anyway, you got more time left. I'm gonna continue. I'll continue to listen.
All right. Good thing. Good thing. All right. Talk with you. Okay. Folks, I have people out there who will say that some of these things we're talking about is our culture. I don't agree with that at all. Meaning that it might be our bad habits or bad-mindedness infiltrating, but I have a much higher regard for our culture and traditions, me ain't going there. But I got a bill to pay. I got a serious collections agency issue that I dealing with, okay? Because this song here I want to play, the owner gonna say, you know what? You owe me for not playing this song for so long. And if I was rich like that, I'd be happy to say, hey, here's extra royalties or something or whatever. But more so, an appreciation, because every time I hear this song, there's certain songs that are ambassadorial type of songs that just connect with the Virgin Islands or the particular island or whatever the case may be. And I think that somehow or the other we need to have some type of a recognition, a yearly recognition, where if there's something that comes out in music that fits in that description, that we have a review of all that came before and welcoming in the new song that is something that is island bigging up, VI bigging up. Hey, we got VI nice, it is nice. A lot of places nice, but it talks about the VI in a way that puts a VI on the real map, the mental map, the internet map, and there are other songs. There are other songs that do it for individual islands, and somehow or the other we have to figure out a way how we're gonna do a type of honoring that also reflects back on those who came before in making those statements, because as I said many years ago about our young people, okay, all right, are you listening? Because they are. Are you watching? Because they are. So if you're not playing and you're not showing to capture the fact that they're looking and listening, then you have a greater chance that you will lose important aspects of your culture to just a simple failure to put it out there in the eyes and ears of your people. All right, let me see if everything working right here.
Watch now. Image. We back again. We got another little quiz for you. Hi. You thought it was good the first time? Man, we had so much fun, we could do it again. Hello, my people. How you doing today? It's been a long time coming, what I have to say. Look at our culture, things are not the same. Let's not sit down and do nothing while it goes down the drain. Please help me. Let's love for the masqueraders. The musicians. mass makers. All the way. Hey. Look around, the hearts are dying. We must prevent this from happening. Start today. Fight for your culture, work for your culture, enjoy your culture. Together, worship your culture, learn from your culture, stay with your culture forever. All these European dishes I just can't explain. What happened to fungi, dumpling and Johnny cake, yam dashing and sweet potato, cassava and plantain? Help me. Callaloo fried fish to kuna. Wash it down with some brown soda or some lemonade. Sorrel, sour, sap, passion fruit. Salted whitefish and red bean soup. Crucian guava berry. Fight for your culture, work for your culture, enjoy your culture. Get up, worship your culture, learn from your culture, stay with your culture forever. Of our local heroes, recognize their contributions to their heritage. D. Hamilton Jackson, Elmo Plastic, James, Ralph Bishop, Henry Rosen, Alexander Moorhead. Continue. David Canigata Sr., Harris Scott and Joe Christopher, Alma Smith. Thomas Emil Griffith, B.G. Gerard Elrod Hendricks, Gracie Julian Jackson. Fight for your culture, work for your culture, enjoy your culture. Together, worship your culture, learn from your culture, stay with your culture forever and ever. Don't forget our great mass makers. Psycho and Anita Christian. Magnus Holiday. Helen Joseph Floyd Anderson. Susie Ibati Peterson. Sylvia Florence Bailey. Mr. Thomas One Man Man. Top, Rudy Shelterbrand, Ohalo Williams, Blinky, James D, Joe Paris, Edward Simmons, Lloyd Graffett, Archie Thomas, Tim Derby, Wesley Thomas, Vito, Stanley, Great Chanel, Leona Watson, Miss Harris, Willie White, Eric Francis, Ethel McIntosh, and many more, too numerous to mention. Brownie, we thank you. Good thing.
Yeah, the good thing, man. Good thing, good thing, good thing. All right. In the spirit of that song, I got another one here that I want to play. And this one here, for those of you who've heard it before, and for those who hear it for the first time, I want you to listen. Okay, I got a call coming in. Sound, take the call, and then we'll come back to that. Okay. Good morning, WSTX.
Yeah, good morning, Doc. Don Felipe here. Health and strength to you and your family, sir.
Same to you.
Listen, man, that song you just finished playing, that's a heavy song, and when you're ready, listen to it, you know.
Amen.
Man, listen, that song, they got so much culture. And I did get to dance live and direct with them at Villa Morales.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yes. Yeah, always night. You
Uh-huh.
remember that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and I tell you the truth, brother. I did dance when I sang them, son. And at that time, you're drinking and thing ain't really got him, but you're kicking up and you're going on. But now, when you really sit back and listen to that song, heavy,
Yeah.
Yes. I got one young brother there in that band. His name is John Georges. He's from out of St. Thomas Garden Street. He
Uh-huh.
played trumpet, and I used to always look forward when the band comes to St. Croix. And of course, Dr. Hendrick's son, I believe that's the one singing, But, yeah, it's quite heavy, man. That song heavy. Now, I heard you was talking about paying the government department your bill or something like that.
Right. What I was saying is that right now, for instance, if an agency office, they're in the middle of, closer to Fredericstead or in Fredericstead, and you need to pay a bill to that office, you gotta go, if you're in Christianstead, all the way down there, technically, to pay your bill, because you gotta use their cashier to do it. But if all the cashier them were tied together in a way that your agency could be identified and you could pay the bill, what difference it make? Not everybody there online to do it online. You just want to pay the bill, but you don't want to go on. Yeah.
I ain't paying no bill online, not me. I use my ATH card. I go to the bank and Bram, here's your cash money, give me a receipt. No, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Down here in the Dominican Republic, okay, and right now I just sent a message to my lawyer to confirm it. But I've known that when you're going to pay the government a bill, you got to go to one of the banks that the government is banking with,
Oh, okay.
And you deposit the money at that bank, and they're going to give you a receipt where you take back to the government office because of trust. No, dog. For many years, government department been taking in cash, and one to wonder if that money really going
Weird.
to the government.
Who holding the bag?
That's what I'm saying.
Who holding the bag?
But good, yes, who holding the bag? And I think this is where the government deal with Banco Popular. And there's 1, 2, 3 Banco Popular in St. Croix, after St. Croix.
Uh-huh.
I think the government have to look into that system there where you go to the bank and pay that government bill and walk with your receipt. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And, yes, it's more safer that way.
Right.
You remember Valley didn't come out with a bill saying that about pay with your ATH card, pay more with the card instead of cash, something of that nature.
Well, I don't know who did the bill, but the government as a general proposition now is doing credit card / debit card / online wiring and all this stuff. But the key thing is for those who, if you don't have it to use it for whatever the reason, okay, but you have the bill should be identify the agency, the division, the particular account it should go into, and any cashier should be able to take that information and complete the transaction for you and give you your receipt. And the key thing is you get your receipt. All right.
I remember before I transferred as a policeman from St. Thomas or St. Croix back in 1976. It was the old police station there on Prince Street by Government House there in Fredericstead. You know that one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. By the time I landed in St. Croix now, gone on duty, I hear rumors how they fire about 2 or 3 policemen because when the suspect pay his bond, his bail bond, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The police then will share up the money, and then when it's time to give back the money, everybody will patch up. And I even believe one policeman had lose his job too, you know. But I think the government have to change their way of payments, where they go to the bank, where the government is banking with. Hey, you building, for example, inspection lane, or I don't know which other department, just take cash.
Yeah. Well, we're making progress. We're making progress because they're moving away from cash. I can see the day. I can see the day coming where things are going to move cashless. But I'm going to tell you, right? I'm fortunate that my mother is still alive. Okay, I count my blessings. And every now and then she want to know how come, want to know what happened that she didn't see her retirement check. And I have to remind her, I said, that's because you set it up so it goes straight into the bank. You know? And I say that, the mental slip, because long ago everything you used to get your check. You know? And I hope I could live to them kind of ages where I could start saying, well, wait, now me see my government check. Well, what's going on?
Well,
and I said that just as a joke in the sense that we need to continue to make more progress so it's convenient for you and me.
Yeah, because right now, like I say, we got this direct deposit. I got my direct deposit going to Banco Popular in St. Croix, and then I receive it down here, but I don't deal with dollars down here, I deal in pesos.
Right.
I don't have no problem.
Right.
Every 15 days at the end of the month, when I get my social,
Right.
But, and another thing, too, let me turn a page now.
Okay.
Are you senior veteran like myself? Because I back in 75. I mean, care to say my age, because, I am still alive. I ain't pushing up no tantana and guinea grass up and kicking.
Well, I still a 16-year-old veteran, but go ahead.
Okay, good. Okay, a new bill come out. I don't have it right here now, but I got it on my phone, but since I talking to you, a new law came out now for veterans that have to travel for medical assistance. Okay? I just came back from the VA hospital. I was up in St. Croix earlier this month. And I had to go to the VA hospital, and there's one confusion picking you up at the airport. Because Puerto Rico says St. Croix didn't send the message of back and forth. But the fact remains is that I had to check into the hotel in the Veteran Medical Complex in Rio Piedra. And that place is almost as big as Peninsula Town, the whole medical complex. Okay? Now, I got the new law now indicating for travel, it indicates traveling expense. And this to all of you veterans listening. Because when I went down that afternoon with Jeff, there was 2 other crucial veterans going down with me. And the 3 of us had to stay in hotels. Okay? Because our appointment was the next day. And he have no flight leaving St. Croix early in the morning to be.
You're going where I was going, yes.
Okay. And to be at the VA hospital for 9 o'clock in the morning. Right? So, thanks to Kenny Gittins now. Kenny Gittins, I call him and let him know that they don't want to pay me the VA, Mr. Farrell. Don't call his name playing up, brother. This is not personal, brother. They don't want to pay me now for the hotel and the taxi bill that I got. All they want to pay me now just for the airline ticket, which is nothing new. We better than I'll get paid for the airline ticket. But with the new bill that came out now, supposed to pay us for traveling expense. And now I have American Legion and listen to this, you have to look into it. So now I got Avery Lewis office in St. Thomas, where he is dealing with veterans. He goes around and 30 seconds, and he just tell me, oh no, that's only for the airline ticket. I say, whoa. Airline ticket, I would be getting paid. We will not get paid now with the new bill, traveling expense. Now, Miss Frederick that does the check, I'm going to call her name with nothing personal, without due respect. She let me know that they can't pay me for traveling expense, only for the airline ticket. So I'm trying to tell them with a new bill, they get oh, well, that's they're going to the States. I don't go to the VA in the States. I go to the VA in Puerto Rico at the medical center in Rio Pedras because I got to fly up on Santo Domingo. Sometimes to think right, then fly back down to Puerto Rico. So, American Legion and all our veterans, please call every lowest officer, Mr. Farrell, where we start to collect our money for the hotel and the taxi fare, which can be proven justifiable because there's only one hotel there in the medical complex in Rio Pedras. It was Howard Johnson, but they changed the name now. And as a matter of fact, the VA did pick me up in the hotel that morning for my appointment for 9 o'clock. So, Brother Canton, we seniors, veterans need help, brother. They're doing us wrong because I know when them senators travel, and Mr. Farrell, when he travels, the VA paying for his hotel and transportation. So that's my 2 cents this morning, brother.
All right. Well, you know, as a fellow veteran, okay, I'm going to say we have to be more vigilant because every time it turns around, they want to cut back on what they promised us. Okay, so we have to be vigilant. Okay, you ain't got your phone turned. You got your phone turned off, right? Your radio turned down, right?
I listen to you.
Yeah, but I was getting feedback here. I'm getting feedback like it coming through the radio.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, right now I was on Bluetooth, but I don't have the Bluetooth speaker.
Oh, okay.
But yes, it's a little broken down. But anyway, veterans are the VI, President St. Croix.
Yep.
Are you looking to that matter?
Yep. Definitely.
Because we can't have an 8 o'clock appointment in the VA hospital and leave here in St. Croix 7 o'clock, which of course, Cape Air was on this one traveling a man. Silver Airline is out. So I will need some help on this one because right now I am out over $500 way hotel, taxi. They ain't even paying you for the food.
It look like we need to figure out how to bring back Premier, man.
So, and like I said, Senator Kenny Gittins, he's working with me on this one there.
Good thing.
You know, and that's a plus. That's a plus for we seniors veterans.
All right.
All right, Brother Canton.
Okay.
I'll up and continue listening.
All right, good thing.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Yes, folks. As a veteran, in my case, I went through ROTC when I was in college and then got my commission. And one of the things that if you went into the military through Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands treats you different than if you are a Virgin Islander and went into the military through whatever state when you graduate and so forth and so on. And that's something that probably is water under the bridge for most people now. Since for all practical purposes, the benefits really aren't there anymore. And yeah, so it's one of those things where they tell you about all the benefits that you will be entitled to as a veteran once you finish your service or as part of your service. But many a veteran can tell you that it's almost like a bait and switch thing going on. When you see on the federal level that they don't want to pay for people who are having health condition issues because of where they served and contamination and so forth and so on. When you see the type of things going on, the military know where they have you. They know what they're doing to you. And then turn around and basically saying, well, we're trying to pinch pennies. We don't want to pay for that. The fact of the matter is, veterans have to get up and stand up. When you have situations like a president who did everything possible to dodge serving and then turns around and says derogatory things about veterans, what's the message being sent? What's the message being sent? Why should our young people go into a military service that's going to turn around, okay, Yeah. I see you there. And try and nickel and dime you shortchange you. Imagine that you gone to war and you suffered some major catastrophic type of damage as part of serving your country, and then they just spinning the wheels, dragging out to give you whatever degree of disability and benefits for it. You just there's too many cases of it happening, and so you're promising you're going to take care of us, and then when we come back and we need the care, what we finding is that, oh well, we don't do this no more, we don't do that no more, we don't do the other no more. Oh, you gotta fight and appeal and all this other stuff. I mean, at some point in time they gotta get real. Otherwise the veterans gonna see themselves back at war and not with a foreign power. Alright? Good morning, WSTX.
Yeah, man, it done me again. Got to call back. Okay, no. This money that's supposed to reimburse us, veterans, okay, if it's not service connected, it's coming from the VA government, not federal money.
No, I'm aware of that. I'm aware.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah. So the fact remains is that we can't get reimbursed for that. But
right.
Anyway, that's what it's local money.
The common denominator is this money.
You know?
They have to spend the money on the veterans the way they promised they're going to.
And we are committing no fraud or nothing. We're trying to rip off the government to pay for the Condado Hilton. No, we're staying in a hotel there in the veteran complex itself.
Yeah.
You know? Not the Condado Hilton or that. Oh, you know, no, that is. All right, then. We'll just prepare for this local money.
Right.
But they could give $10 million for the New York Jets. Give me a damn break, man.
Right.
Each of us should have get a football from the New York Jets. Thank you for the continue listening. Respects.
All right. Take care. Yes, sir. It's always a thing of money. It's always a thing of money. That's what it comes down to. You cannot give benefits unless you put aside the money to fund those benefits. And if you're trying so hard to, it's kind of like insurance. You have an insurance, and all these years you're paying your money, and then when you have a medical need and you go into the hospital, and the hospital send the insurance bill and they decline to the bill, and you have to appeal and all this other stuff. And this is what we have to get away from. If you're paying for something, you should be able to get it when the appropriate time comes. WSTX here on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kandan.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
Well, not as good as you, but I'm doing a lot better.
Okay. Hold on a second for me, please. Okay, hold on. Good day, may I help? Okay, back to you.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dougie, quickly, I just try my damnedest not to let my appearance on any talk show go without saying something towards our children and even to the elderly. But to the children today, I remain very much advocating for things to help systems and what's not to help children with their learning ability and their ability to receive a sound education and instruction that's life. A number of things have been changed.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Okay, Jared?
Yes.
You there?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me finish with Nancy. Okay? Yes, sir. You're there, Jared. Time. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Morning, Gerald. Yeah, a number of things has been changing, and I'm glad, proud, and happy to say that in the city of Houston, Texas, so far we were able to get prayer back in school. You know, coming from an era where I started school from back in the 40s, and knowing what it was to say a prayer, and now the day is over and you sing a little song, it sort of set the tone for your day of learning. And even though that them and those, and frighteningly so back home, whatever I have to say, prayer school stop. Everybody attack a different language, everybody got different prayer. Nonsense. Silent prayer coming from the heart. You don't have to open your mouth in a big set of noise. But we always try to find something to agree with those who say it shouldn't happen. But I'm really glad, because for those who believe, they could leave the Almighty Creator out of their day. Like some of them, here, wake me up, I jump back to bed myself. I know. If I were here, would I go back on the bed? You see? But again, we just have to be careful. So we have that. We also have the situation back in Houston again, where we were able to get the parents to back off and let the children agree that their phones should be taken at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, and they'll get back at the end of the day. Because if anything is there, doggy, and I see it because I'm there in the school system looking at it, it's make a mad difference and improvement in especially young black males in their attendance and in the what you call the term is like the reading ability, the concentration level, and that type of thing. So I don't know what is happening back home with it, but I would suggest very well that we stop listening to those who feel we do not need to thank the Creator. Thank you very much.
All right, good thing. All right. Anyhow, Gerard, Mr. Nipsey sent in the payment.
He better send in the payment. Otherwise, I would introduce him to his tool of collection.
Oh, Lordy me. Can't have neither you nor Mr. Nibs involved in a collections agency, okay? I tell you. Everybody would pay in advance.
Well, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing, but, out of fear.
Well, listen, you got to fear something, right? Some people fear God, some people fear man, some people fear animals, some people fear a lot of different things. So,
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing if they pay all you got to pay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. So how's your day going, man?
Well, it started off kind of rocky, but I'm doing better.
All right. Well. All right.
Sometimes there's a VP thing that we have people. But, there's a diabetes health fair on Saturday morning from 8 to 5.
Coming up on Saturday, and the 26th is 88th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I think, what, 35 years? 34 years?
Something like that. Enough years. Thank goodness
enough years.
We could call it donkey years even.
I just say it's enough years for us to get it right.
Yeah.
Because take for instance, we have an ADA coordinator that not to no fault of his own cannot visit the island of St. Croix because there's no ADA compliance.
I was just getting ready to say we have had enough years to be able to get it right, but we ain't get it right yet.
Right, my thing is, by now you should have gotten with one of these airlines and find out how they can facilitate getting at least one plane that's flying between here and St. Thomas that someone in a wheelchair can use.
Yeah.
Because if you have a issue and you have to leave from here to go to St. Thomas to get treatment, for you to take a plane, you will have to take a plane and go to San Juan, and from San Juan to St. Thomas, or go to Miami, and from Miami to St. Thomas. That's crazy. You know, that is crazy. You know, someone of these carriers that doing their daily flights between here and St. Thomas should have a plane, at least one plane. We ask them for just one plane that someone in a wheelchair can, you know, utilize to fly on. You know, because I think it's something that's needed here. Because there are a lot of people here that disabled and have to travel into Ireland for various services. That let's put it out there. We don't have all the services here at St. Croix. Some of the services are on St. Thomas that we may need. And if you are an individual who is physically impaired and uses a wheelchair, I mean, you're cut off from that service over on St. Thomas.
Yeah.
Unless you try to get on the boat, and I don't know how accessible the boat is to someone in a wheelchair.
Well, Gerard, the fact of the
And
matter
that's a 2-hour journey.
the fact of the matter is you need a change in mentality. Gerard, I was over in St. Thomas Tuesday. Okay? I was over in St. Thomas Tuesday. And I flew the whale. and I saying that I'm bigging them up because they have made some contributions to organizations, non-profit organizations in terms of youth travel and so forth and so. So I say that to big them up. I flew the whale. Okay. When I got there, I went over to do some recording, so I had to take my equipment over there. And to get my equipment, it comes in, you gotta to pick it up from the small planes. It's not a problem. But it just so happened that once we were done, we need to get a rental car because this was an early move and they weren't open when we got there. So we had to do the early job, come back and get a rental car to take care of some other business. And so the rental cars are inside the same place where you get your luggage. And it is air conditioned. No, I say that and I leave a little pause of silence there because everybody on St. Croix know what it is like to pick up your luggage in St. Croix. So in St. Croix, they have you outside if they have any benches or anything or whatever. And they have a whole setup. I took some pictures of it because it should be the standard. It should be the standard. Not one standard for you and a different standard for me. It should be the standard. So now, the next thing is, there needs to be a near-term plan for switching to using the jet bridges and to have the appropriate elevator facilities in our airports for those who don't want to take stairs or deal with anything else, but specifically also for those people who would need wheelchair assistance to go from one floor to the other. We need to be moving in that direction. It just is befuddling to me how we still there with power we there. Now, I look at the parking garage that they have there in St. Thomas. I'm happy to see that they have it. The person I was with was saying that they have no space, but they don't make space, right? Well, we have space. I'm not talking about having something just because the other island has it. That's not where I'm going. I don't want to get into that conversation at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's about something that you need, something that should be the caliber of people coming here and saying, wow, you know, a little island in the Caribbean there and the sister island right across 40 miles away. Wow, their facilities were first class. Traveling there, getting your luggage and everything was a pleasant experience. You want them to be able to say that and for others to come, number one. But before you get to one, you have zero. Zero's a number two. You start with zero. Okay? Meaning that as a matter of priority or equal priority, you have to look at what you're doing for your own people. You can't be doing it just for people who are going to be visiting for tourism purposes.
Well, tourism is the thing. I mean, that's what they do. I mean, what you could do?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this. We want roads not to have potholes. We don't want it to have potholes whether you're a visitor or a person that lives here. We want airports that have air bridges, proper escalators, elevators, whatever, and proper air conditioning for the baggage area, pickup, and everything else. This thing about coming out into a old hangar, okay, a old hangar to stand up in the heat and humidity to wait for when your bags come and start going around.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, how many years now? Past donkey years, more like dinosaur years. That's how it's been.
Yeah, because it's a while since the air condition and they're walking in that private area.
Right, but there, what you see there, the way the whole thing looked, the darkness inside and everything, the way the place looks,
Mm-hmm.
it's not saying that we're thinking in terms of we dealing with people, we're dealing with animals.
Are they thinking at all?
Well, okay, no. I ain't going there with you. I ain't going there with you. Okay? But,
That is the question.
well,
That's the question. Because I'm not sure if they're even so much as thinking.
Gerard, in 10 years, we have a stadium that's under construction. 10 years. I'm just picking a number. In that 10 years, okay, the whole waterfront in St. Thomas changed till it's going to change again. All right? No. But I'm saying, no, I'm just saying, and again, the comparison is not island versus island. It's a lack of consistency.
No, I wasn't going to say that.
No.
Just, what we're going to say was it took them 40 years to build the bypass.
The bypass. Jared, when I go up to Massachusetts, for instance, and I get on 290 and go up and get on to 495, they got a part on 495. You got 4 lanes, okay? And they divert the 4 lanes off to the right-hand side for a distance and then bring it back. And the 4 lanes that they have to redesign, they're working on that. Again, some feedback here, Jared, like you have something on. Okay? And I'm when I'm driving, even on the diverted highway, for 100 miles, the road is smooth. I mean, yes, you come to a bridge, and where the bridge meet the railroad, you hear a little tudum, okay? So it's not perfect. But when I drive from Sunny Isle down to Frederickstead, and my car going up and down and up and down and up and down.
Okay, for some reason, I can hardly hear you now.
You can hardly hear me. Well, something happened because I'm getting an echo back from you. And all my stuff is turned.
Echo back from me. I don't know why.
When my voice is echoing back to me. You have a speaker system on or something? Okay, hold on a second. I got a call coming in here. Okay, hold on. Good morning, WSTX.
Yeah, you still got Gerald there with you?
Yeah, I got Jared there with me. Hold
Oh, actually.
hold on a second. I have to be away to bring the two of you on here, but it's been a wild.
Well,
Okay, well I'll have to figure that out some other time.
yeah, anyway, let me go ahead and say that I believe that this is something he would be happy to hear or maybe not so happy. Because when I saw it, someone sent me a story from, and I don't recall where it's from, what state, city, but it had to do with how sometime a top person in government has to become involved in order for services to be rendered. And why I say I thought of Gerald, because he's always not complaining, he's just talking about the situations with the buses, the trans buses and what's not that take so long for repairs and what's not to get done. The thing that was sent to me, the people made a complaint about some problem with a bus, and they were fluting with it, and I think they had to the place a call to either the mayor or whoever in that county or city, and I mean he gave orders that he wanted that bus repaired immediately, not sooner. And he went to the site where the bus was and stayed there until they fixed it. You understand what I mean?
Mr. Nibs, when you have a person in your family with a disability that you care for, or when you have one, it's a totally different situation. In leadership, I'm just saying, leadership, people walking around, people seeing, people sitting up and standing down, me sitting down and standing up, all under their own power. Who feels it knows it, and somehow there's this disconnect because you have the people in whether it's human services or the folks in the disability coordinator. The person has no real power or influence to cause these things to happen. Over at WAPA, if you in a chair, somebody have to hold the doors for you to get into WAPA, and you better not need to use the bathroom when you get in there, because your chair, if it can fit in, will be stuck once you get in. You ain't coming back out. Okay?
Why? Why can't that be fixed? Why?
But that is 20 years ago. That's 20. Well, more like 15, but I met it that way, so it's more than 20 even. I'm saying that somehow or the other, we have people that just don't care.
Well, I think it's more don't care than maybe being empathetic, putting yourself in that person's shoe and in their situation. But to me, if you are into service, and don't tell me being a cashier or being a service, yes, all that is service. People don't want to be called servants, but it's service. And you can't overstand, never mind understand, that you're in that position, even whether appointed or elected, to serve and help. What else would you? Why other reason would you be there if not to help people? But you're there, but you don't want to help nobody.
Hello. They want to help themselves and their friends and their family. Except for one in Washington, D.C. Now I know that might only be interested in helping themselves. But generally, you could add in them categories. Okay?
Well, man, let me tell you. Now, you see, God does work in mysterious and different ways.
Again, some people send me these things to talk about and they pray to sleep. Somebody said a thing here with Mr. Trump. He called him no President Trump. Mr. Trump with two big fat foot, elephantitis. Why do you put them so big like that? Bigger than big foot. That's pain, brother. And it reminds me of what a white, MAGA, elderly woman told me. She said, God is not going to make it so that the government gets shut down, he get run down, he planes up out the sky. He just said, no. He's going to put him on a bed of affliction. Where he did in pain and ball, God take me, God. The boy, why you here? That's what I thought. He is. Thank you, God, before he sent the police for me.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, take care.
You send the police, right?
Oh, Lordy B.
He calling me to phone now?
Oh, Lordy B. Anyhow, I just setting up something here because, you know, when one thing don't work, you got to make another way. You know? So just doing something here. All right. So you were hearing him clear?
Yeah, we're hearing him clear.
All right. Good thing. All right. Well, I got a little walk around thing here that I'm doing to make sure in the future when we have these issues and when we can connect, we're gonna set up with a line through that comes straight into the system, and so we'll get away from some of these issues. Yeah, but anyhow, we have this ongoing complaint, cry for help, however you want to look at it, that's been going on now over the years. And it seems like nobody's listening. Okay? Well, I'm going to tell you, when Governor Mapp was elected, I perceive his election as a reaction to or an expression of dissatisfaction that created the opening for his campaign to resonate with people. When Mapp was elected, Trump was elected as president the first time around, I felt like it also was a time where people felt like they weren't being heard, that they were given the same line over and over and over, but then after the time passed, nothing really changed. And so here we have an opportunity, at least something could change. Worst case, it could stay the same, but something could change. And it looked more like there's hope that going to be change and things changing because we get in the right line. Well, people getting smarter and smarter how to give the right line, and still you don't get no change or change for the worse. So I say that because it's gotten old. It's just plain gotten old. The fact of the matter is, how many of our ADA buses are running? At any given point in time, how many of them are running? How many of them are in disrepair?
2 to 3.
And how many of them need to be totally salvaged and replaced? Okay?
Too many.
Yeah, and I'm saying this because this is the state of affairs. We have a bus transit system that is good to say we have one, but when you look at the quality of service and the consistency of service, which is part of the quality, we don't have one. So somebody can't plan that they staying in the Frederickstead Hotel. Okay, I gonna get up early and I'm gonna go out on the road and catch a bus from Frederickstead down to Christiansted or to Sunny Isle, to let's say to Christiansted because you want to go on a little cruise thing to Buck Island, see the Buck Island Reef and picnic out there and whatever, so forth and so on as part of your vacation here. But you want to be down in Frederickstead. You can't plan like that. Yeah, but no, I know you have to call a taxi, but what I'm saying is that what's the purpose of public transit? What is the purpose? You say call a taxi. If somebody come with a 5 or 6 children and they're going to get a taxi from Christiansted, from Frederickstead to Christiansted in the context of how much it going to cost? Okay, and then what we're trying to say that only the people only the people who have money should be able to come and enjoy St. Croix.
No.
Again, we have to change the way we're thinking because we're defeating ourselves. All of that economic activity that would be going on. Who want to take a taxi? Who want to rent a car? Let them do that. Have all the options available. Promote tourism on a level that it supports all levels of transportation. Okay, hold on a second. I got somebody online too. Good morning, WSTX.
Yes, would you like to do a random act of kindness?
Well,
how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Who am I speaking with?
I guess this is your worst enemy in the whole wide world, with you doing a random act of kindness to him.
I hope not, but I'm trying to understand who I'm talking with because you're addressing me brother and everything else, so I want to make sure my family in here going to call me and tell me they're on the island and I ain't look for them.
Yes, this is the keeper of the flame and the tip of the spear for the Ndongo tribe.
All right.
Yeah. So I wanted to chime in with you. What you were talking about today?
All right. Well, right now we're talking about public transportation and transportation for persons with disabilities.
Oh, okay. Well, I definitely got a suggestion. In Los Angeles, they have transportation in, the African American community, and they basically have free rides for all senior citizens and disabled veterans to ride for free, and they just have electrical buggies that go up and down in the general area to just offer these free rides. So maybe that's something that, you guys or we could bring to the Virgin Islands to offer to our elderly and our disabled veterans.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you, the key thing is first you have to have the buggies, so to speak. And just a little bit of quick history, the transit system was here, and Jared, you in on the conversation. The transit system was here, run under the private sector, and then for no good explanation reason, the government decided to take it over. And from the time the government take it over, services diminish. So now you got one bus going from Christiansted to Frederickstead and back. You can't plan your time that way, if you understand what I'm saying. And then if the bus is broken and not running, here you are out on the side of the road, standing up waiting for a bus to come. And they don't have any type of a tracking system that you could look on your smartphone and see, well, the bus is out of service or the bus is moving and this is where it is. These are things, when you think about it, a bus for transportation purposes isn't something that the Secret Service want to be, secret from the people. It should be easily determined. Where is the bus? Do I need to take a taxi or can I afford to wait on a bus for what I need to do? So there are things that we can do that aren't necessarily spend a whole bunch of money to make the little bit that we have work better and then in parallel to that, focus on how we're going to expand the services to get back to where we were. You're familiar with Kramer Park?
Oh, you're very
Okay.
familiar.
So you're familiar with Temple?
Yes.
Okay. So Temple had an anniversary, and it was out at Kramer Park, and we had buses running back and forth. So the whole population had access in a way that also meant that you didn't have all of these cars choking up the place.
So let me ask you. You said we had buses going back and forth. So did you take it upon yourself, or whoever was organizing the event? They did it privately to
No.
organize those buses to go back and forth?
But this is a public-private cooperation to have the buses run. We had Carnival in St. Thomas just a couple of months back. Okay, and they had the transit running so that people could go to the village and experience the village. Here on St. Croix, we have festival, and either you have your own car, bicycle, or something, or you ain't going.
Well, when I was there for Christmas, I know I made it a duty of mine and I learned that when the cruise ships come in, they bus them and they taxi them. They don't pick up the people them on the side of the road. And I learned that because I saw a lady who was struggling walking down center line, getting to get hit by a car just zooming by this, elderly lady. And I said, "Hey, ma'am, do you need a ride?" And she explained to me when she got in the car that the taxi van them don't pick people up.
Right.
And I just give her a ride up Frederickstead. Then there was another incident where an elderly lady, the next one, she was sitting by the Christian Hendricks Memorial Market, and the bus them had done stop running, and it was, starting to get dark, and she needed to get all the way up Frederickstead. So I just simply say, "Hey, I'm heading up Frederickstead. You need, to catch a ride." Now, I had learned that because, I'm a son of the soil, and that's how I used to be able to move around. As you're walking, people will pull over and say, "Hey, you're going up East End, or you're going to town, or you're going to Chopper, you need a ride." And you just, you catch a ride. So, I don't know how the spirit of our people is now. Because like I said, everybody was just driving straight by.
Yes, no. Right. It's a different world now, because when you pick up people, if it ain't somebody like that, you just don't know what you're dealing with. Okay? And sometimes people will want to accuse people of doing this or doing that and all this other stuff. But that aside, right? The leadership is not committed to public transportation. Now, I remember I was telling someone I gave a ride to the other day, 2 days ago, about the days when you used to go all the way down Frederickstead from Christianstead to house party. And you ain't nothing but hitching ride coming back.
That's where they lime. They lined up that way that we going for the lime.
Exactly. That's the way it used to be. All right? But now we're in a situation where there's a type of elitism about having a car. If you ain't having a car, you should stay home. That's the elitist attitude that we're in now. Because go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's not a race that sounds like a socialism. Different classes are my people.
Right.
I have the money. I have money to, buy the nicest clothes and shoes and drive the best cars, and I'm going to go to the party where it costs $10,000 a plate to get in.
And the joke is,
I'm in a different network. I'm in a different social class. So go ahead and expound.
Right. Well, we kind of closing down on my time here, but this is interesting because, especially as a son of the soil calling in, okay, my hope is that the conversation is being heard, not just by you, but people here, and at some point in time, we're going to generate enough interest and effort that somebody in leadership is going to take a different look at these things, right? Because we're not here to complain, if you understand where I'm coming from. We want it to change. Complaining ain't what we want. We want it to change. And
if you're in a position of leadership, you shouldn't feel as if someone's voice is any way of a complaint, because everybody's voice should be heard, no matter if you disagree or if you agree.
Well, we're on the same sheet.
From that.
We're on the same sheet of music, but the reality is that very often they say what they have to say to get elected, and then afterward, what happens is something totally different. Because what we're talking about is years and years of something need to be done. Anyhow, brother, I gotta get ready to get out of here because the next guest is coming in. But we're here on Thursdays from 8 to 10. And
well, give thanks, and I just want to say this prayer for you. Blessed are those that go above and beyond their duties, and blessed are those that are the peace.
Joining on the program, we thank you for all of you guys. And until next week, enjoy the rest of the weekend. And if you want to join in on this diabetes thing on Saturday, especially knowing and half each other. If you detect this thing early, you get ahead of the game. Okay?
All right.
So that's it.
Well, with that, folks, it's that time of the day, and we got to do what we got to do. Got all kinds of works and run-ins. I tell you, Gerard, it seems like you step away from this place for a minute, for a time, return, it's like they walk waiting for you left and right.
It ain't gonna happen.
Hey, anyhow.
Listen, although you stop, the walk don't stop them.
All right.
Especially the honeydew list.
Oh yeah, I always, you gotta keep the world happy, brother. Okay, and whatever you call your world, you gotta keep it happy.
Yeah,
because you don't want a situation where the doors, the locks change, or you have a little special house in the yard that you have to live in, or anything like that. You don't want to let it get to that.
Yeah, man. I don't think Teddy don't want any company.
All right. So I noticed you got another dog.
Uh-huh.
And what's the dog's name?
Dog sitting.
Huh?
That dog sitting.
Yeah. Oh, your dog's sitting. Okay. So I thought you had decided to expand the family. So, well, the dog have a name?
Yeah, but I don't think I want it.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I hear you.
Eat my pooch.
So,
Eat my pooch, so I don't...
So anybody take pictures, you have to make sure that they pixelate the face of that dog. Nobody could know who the dog is.
Well, they're sitting down, but they wouldn't know what to call us.
Right.
If they go there to try this or that, they always get what they always got.
Okay, though. All right. With that, we're gonna look to
a bunch of teeth.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna look to call it a day for today. And I just I don't know if you heard earlier where I talked about the special session coming up. And the fact of the matter is...
Yeah, I know the special session.
Right. But that one part in there where they change the legislation about people being able to run for office without being discriminated against because they are a government worker. That they need to change now. Not wait for the legislature to change it, because they've been that way for donkey years, and obviously they like it so. We shouldn't be liking it so.
What?
Okay?
Right. Okay.
All right. That's it. We're gonna check out till next time, all right?
Okay. Take care.
All right, good thing.
She's still complaining, it is too unfair, she insists. Why treat me like this? You went all about and drink your damn cockapoo rum. Time for love, you have your hand in me, and you're snoring like Papa Jack. When you leave in the morning, don't ever come back. Forgive me, dear. I didn't mean to be so slick. It's as you live so wicked, and I'm feeling so nice and warm. Any port is for a storm. It's up to you to tell me no. I know I wrong.